Alright guys, so today I'm going to be reviewing the Marvel Legends Spider-Man GameVerse figure from Spider-Man 2, the PS5 game. So we'll take a quick look at the packaging here. So we've got the new figure here on the front, Spider-Man 2 at the bottom, a rendering of the figure here on the side, says GameVerse up there. Then on the back we've got another shot of the figure and the accessories that he comes with, the webs and everything. A picture of him from the game on the side here, which is pretty cool. And then the spider logo on the top. Alright, so now let's get them open and check them out.
Pete!
I'm Dr. Stephen Strange.
Hey, fellas. Hey!
Hey.
Send these guys back to their universes.
So here's what he looks like out of the packaging. So he comes with 5 web accessories and an extra set of hands, which are the fisted hands down here. And on the figure comes one whipping hand or webbing hand on this side and an open or wall crawling hand on this side. So that is probably my biggest complaint of this figure, is the fact that we only get one of each of these hands. I would have liked to have a pair of both. So a pair of webbing hands and a pair of open or wall crawling hands, or at least a pair of webbing hands, because I feel like that's like almost a necessity for any Spider-Man figure. And for me, the webbing effects aren't that big of a draw. I mean, they are pretty cool, but I probably won't use them a whole lot. I would have rather had the extra set of hands. But overall, he is a really cool figure. I really wanted this figure, especially since I missed out on the first one from the first game. So I really wanted this one. And he is a really cool figure. He's just a little overpriced, in my opinion. And mainly the missing hands is my biggest complaint. So let's go ahead and get a closer look at him. So here's a closer look at that head sculpt, which is really good. It's definitely an improvement from the one from the first game. Looks really nice. And then we'll go down here. I did have a little bit of a paint problem right there, but I mean, it's not too bad. You can't really see it when the head's down, but that head's really cool. And then we got some more line and everything here. Looks pretty good. That's a little distracting, that blue that goes right in through here. I mean, it's not that big of a deal to me. That line for the spider logo does go on here on the butterfly joint, which looks pretty good. We got the Spider-Man logo here, which looks nice. One thing I was noticing is this right here, the red here, is a little bit darker than the red on the rest of the figure, which is probably because they used a different plastic right here, so it makes it look a little bit darker. But it is something that's a little bit noticeable. And then down here, we've got a little bit of a different design than the first game, which I'm not the biggest fan of, with it going up like this. Looks sort of weird. But I did Google some photos of the new suit from the new game, and that's accurate. I'm just not the biggest fan of it. Down here, not much to the legs here, and then the feet, we got the red down there, little toe joints, pretty cool. Take a look at the back here. Looks like we got a little bit paint smudge there. We'll check out the logo on the back here. Looks pretty good. And even like when you adjust them out, it's all the way back in there. Back of the head there, looks pretty good. Got all the lines here. Got the white on the hands and stuff, which the white on the hands here looks like it could have been a little bit thicker, because you can sort of see the red through it a little bit. I don't know if you can see that on the camera though, but it seems like it maybe needed another coat or something, because you can sort of see a little bit of the red seeping through there. On the logo, you can't tell as much, but you can still see that it's a little bit thin. Which white is always sort of that way. You have to do multiple coats because it's so light. See it a little bit better on this side, how the red seeping through there. We'll check out the webbing hand here, and that little joint in there is white, so it does look a little bit weird when you're webbing or have it tilted down like that. It doesn't look so bad on this side because it blends in. But so here's a quick look at the fisted hands. They have the little white pegs in there too. You can see some of the lines there and the white on the top part. Look pretty nice. And then I'll show you some of the web accessories. If if you can see those. That one's sort of like to wrap somebody up when he webs people up, which is pretty cool. Then we've got just sort of like a web splat. Oh, a web splat like that. I mean, these web effects are pretty cool, but I don't know, a bigger web splat. And then this one here is to, like when he webs someone's face, claws on their face, so I'll show you. He'll web himself here. And then we got this long web, which we've seen a few times before with the translucent plastic, which I think we actually got one of these with the first one, but it was like all white and not translucent. So I wanted to compare this one and the figure from the first game just a little bit. Unfortunately, I don't have the figure from the first game because I missed out on him. Now he's selling for like over $100 and I'm not going to pay that much for him, but I will be putting up some photos and stuff so that you guys can actually see what I'm talking about when I'm doing the comparisons. And that's one of the big reasons that I bought this new figure, because I did miss out on the other one and I love the Spider-Man games. So we'll go ahead and compare them a little bit. So the head sculpt on this new one is a lot better, and that's probably the highlight for me for this figure. As far as the blue color goes, this one is a lot duller than the one we had from the first game, which I did look some photos up, and that is actually pretty accurate to the suit for the second game. It doesn't look horrible, but I do prefer a little bit brighter blue. And then far as the design of the suit, it's not too much different. The first suit had little blue marks right here, or lines through here. This one doesn't. Through here, on the first one was all red. Here it sort of gets broken up a little bit and goes up, which is accurate to the new game, new design. Down here on the legs, this new one's just all blue. On the old one, we had a little section that was red with the web lines, geez Louise. And the old one came with 2 webbing hands and 2 fisted hands, which is what I wish this one would have came with. Well, really, I would have rather had 3 sets of hands, but anyway. So that's the major differences between the two. So I brought in, this is the Miles from the Miles Morales game, not the one from Spider-Man 2, but just so you guys could sort of see them, oh gosh, beside each other. And I didn't realize the size difference until like I just now put them up here, but Miles looks tiny compared to this Spider-Man, which technically Miles is supposed to be, I think, like a teenager or something in the game, and Spider-Man's like full grown. But I didn't realize how massive a difference there was in the size. He looks huge compared to him. Height, his head size, everything. He just looks massive beside him here, which granted they're in a little bit different poses, but and I'm pretty sure the new Miles for the second game is pretty much the same as this one, just arms are a little bit different. So I mean, it's pretty accurate size comparison there. So here's a little bit better look at the size comparison between Peter and Miles here. You can sort of see the size difference, which I didn't realize until I got him in hand, but I guess it makes sense though, because he is a teenager and he's a grown adult. But yeah, so you guys can sort of see that. So for his articulation, he has some pretty good articulation. He can look down that far. Up a little bit, but not as far as I thought he would be able to. Head pivot, just slightly. Not a whole lot though. For the arms, he can reach up pretty far, which is pretty good. He does have the butterfly joints in here, so you can sort of reach them back a little bit further and crunch them forward further as well. We do have the bicep swivels here, double jointed pinless elbows here. Oh gosh, I'm starting to bend that arm already. And then we have the wrist here, has the horizontal hinge, so you can whoosh, whoosh. For the ab crunch, this is pretty cool because it has 2 different sections. So for like the ab crunch and then I guess the diaphragm cut, so you can bend forward just the diaphragm cut about that far and back about that far. There's a little bit of a gap in there, but not horrible. And then for the ab crunch, well, this is a combination of the ab crunch and the diaphragm cut. You can bend over pretty far and backwards pretty far. Let's see here. You can kick forward that far. Hang on, there. And then back just a little bit. We got thigh cuts here. Oh gosh, those are tight. Double jointed pinless knees. We do have like a boot cut type right here. Ankles go down about that far and up about that far. They do rotate to the side. We got pegs in the bottom. Then we also have the toe hinge or toe joint there. So overall, I really like this figure a lot. I'm pretty happy with him. Poor Miles. I put those web effects and stuff on them just so you could sort of see what they look like. Like web his face and then web them around here and then web his feet. You can use those for whatever though. But this figure, I really am happy with him. I really love the game so much, and I've wanted a figure of this Spider-Man for so long. And since I missed out on the first one and I wasn't going to pay $100 for the other figure, I was really happy to when this one came out or they announced it. And I really like him a lot. My only thing that I really don't like about him is the fact that he's missing the other hands. Other than that, I really like everything else about him. Let me know what you guys think of him in the comments. I'll put a link to him in the description of this video if you guys decide to pick him up. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and have a great day.